North Carolina News at 6 starts now.
Hello and good morning, everyone. If you're just getting up, I'm Russ Bowen. We have a lot to get to right now.
I'm Maggie Newland. We are following a big breaking story that has gotten some national attention this morning. Lauren Haviland is live in downtown Raleigh, as is Beershell Edmay. We are expecting to get an update on last night's huge fire any minute now.
But first, we need to take a look at the weather. Alyssa Corfant is in our weather center right now. Alyssa, they're dealing with some cold temperatures all night long. The firefighters on that scene.
Yeah, certainly they are, Russ. Just like the past few nights, we are starting off with temperatures in the 20s. But the good news is clear skies, quiet conditions. The wind is not going to cause any further problems for those folks, first responders in downtown. 26 in Raleigh, 26 in Lillington, still 19 though in Sanford. We don't have to worry about the wind chill because the winds have calmed down throughout the overnight. 21 is where we are in Roxborough and in South Hill. The low 20s through Henderson, Lewisburg, and Roanoke Rapids. So let's get straight to that forecast for the day ahead. Sunny skies to start our day. 26 though out the door. Please dress in layers. 45 at noon today, and then 59, almost 10 degrees warmer than where we were yesterday. We're back to 56 as we head towards 6 o'clock this evening. There are going to be warmer temperatures over the weekend. There's also going to be the chance though for some rain. I'll let you know when they arrive coming up. Right now though, let's check in with Kristen, who's been monitoring the roads.
Good morning, Alyssa. Good morning, everyone. Let's start things off with a live picture here. This is I-85 at the Durham Freeway. Traffic's picking up, but so far no issues there. We do have some road closures still ongoing in downtown Raleigh due to that fire from last night that we've been talking about all morning. Capitol Boulevard, the southbound side, is closed from Wade Avenue to MLK Jr. Boulevard, so that's inbound into Raleigh. Hillsborough Street also closed in both directions between Morgan Street and Dawson Street. Also Glenwood Avenue closed in both directions between Wade Avenue and Morgan Street. We'll let you know if any of these roads reopen here through this morning. Elsewhere around the triangle, things in good shape on the major roads. 540, 440, and I-40 all looking good at this hour. And even in Fayetteville, no major issues to make you aware of there. A smooth commute for you into Fayetteville this morning. On 59 from Hope Mills to Fayetteville, normal traffic volume, a 19-minute ride there. On 95 from Dunn to Fayetteville, you're looking at a 23-minute ride. Here's one more live look. This is I-40 at Rock Quarry Road, where traffic has been increasing, but so far things are looking good. I will have your drive times to Research Triangle Park and an update on those road closures in downtown Raleigh coming up in just a few minutes.
And we've been telling you all morning long about this massive fire in downtown Raleigh. Fire officials are on the scene now, and they are briefing reporters.
That's right. Let's take a live look at that scene right now, where we believe that briefing is now about to take place. Looks like we have a fire official, possibly the fire chief there, about to tell us what happened overnight with that five-alarm fire that occurred. Let's take a listen in.
Hey, my name is John Fanning. I'm Division Chief with the Raleigh Fire Department. Last night about 10 o'clock, we had a massive fire at the Metropolitan in downtown Raleigh. It was a 5-alarm fire that involved, at the beginning, at the onset, 70 to 100 firefighters. Eventually grew to about 130 firefighters that are helping with the efforts. Had tremendous help from county fire units who staffed our stations. They staffed at least 17 of our 28 fire stations. Also a lot of help from the police department and Wake County Emergency Medical Services. Fortunately, we can report we've only had one injury, and that was due to falling glass, a puncture wound to the chest. And but it's non-life-threatening, and he is being treated and should be released pretty soon. So if I were to say anything as far as the public, I would have a few recommendations. That would be to avoid the downtown area, at least the area of the fire. And also, there has been concerns about flying brands. Those flying brands, or at least the fire that was producing those, has been under control for some time. So there's really no need for worry about the large flying brands, but the fire will be producing smoke for some time, probably at least another day or so. At this time, we haven't been able to get any of our investigators in to be able to even start a fire cause and determination. That will likely occur more towards lunchtime today. Any questions?
firefighter here in Raleigh for what?
24 years.
Have you ever seen something like this?
No, this is the biggest fire that I have seen. We had a larger fire several years ago. This is the largest fire I've seen in such a condensed area. In fact, when we showed up, we had a crane collapse in the 9 to 12 minute range. It was a very quick collapse. It's something, although this is a large fire, we train for this, we train for it daily. So it's just kind of planned chaos, I guess.
How many other buildings were impacted? We know some had to be evacuated.
Yes, we on the onset had fires in 5 different buildings to begin with. We've had damage to 10, severe damage to 5.
When do you think folks will be able to get back in their apartments?
We were able to clear 3 buildings early this morning. Damage control or our reclamation companies have been able to get in there and start the rehabilitation process, so they should be able to get in relatively quickly. But I don't know. That's up to their progress.
Do you all know what the main cause of this fire?
We do not. We
Something like this that it's spreading so quickly.
Well, with a building under construction, you have a lot of materials, raw materials that are sitting open, out in the open. The building was framed up, so there was no internal finishings, so the fire was able to spread very quickly. Fortunately, we didn't have the winds like we had earlier in the week, so that helped us out greatly. But like I said, without any interior finishings, the fire just spread so quickly, and it's so hot. I'm unaware of that.
There's several fire crews still on scene. Can you take us through what's happening right now?
So right now, so our main purpose is to basically keep the fire, when we show up, to keep the fire from spreading from its original location. So we were able to do that very quickly. I think the command staff was able to get the fire strategically to have all equipment placed where it needed to be so that it did not spread. And then the crews did an awesome job of making sure that strategy was carried out. So as far as right now, since the main body has been knocked down, what we want to do is to be sure to just continue to wet it so that we don't have anything rekindle or restart. Usually a rekindle is worse than the first fire, so we definitely don't want that to happen. So they'll remain here for quite some time.
Since you've had so many crews on scene, is there a rotation or system involved? You mentioned 130 firefighters.
Yes. So initial crews were rotated out after about a 2-hour stint. And then what we do is bring in a rotation of crews that will spend about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we just keep rotating them around depending on where we're pulling from the city, because we don't want to create a huge hole in coverage.
Of course, this is also a work day. It's the end of the work week. What other impact do you think will happen here in downtown? I know you mentioned to avoid this area.
Well, really, with this being kind of isolated over here, it's kind of out of entertainment areas and things like that. So as far as the weekend, it'll just be crews over here trying to clean streets. There's glass everywhere. There's building with broken glass. Glass is still falling. So people just, really for safety, just need to stay on the correct side of the fire tape. Just kind of avoid the area if they can.
What kind of apparatus?
I'm sorry?
How much apparatus?
I had close to 25, 26 apparatus at this fire, and that ranges from engine companies to ladder companies, specialty companies like rescue. So, yeah, apparatus like that.
You mentioned 5 buildings were impacted by the flames. Can you take us through the evacuation process, or have you encountered any challenges during that?
The first chief that arrived on the scene did an incredible job of recognizing the risk that was involved. we immediately focused on the buildings that were adjacent to the main fire building. So it was a quick decision. We had people coming out already coming out of the buildings. A lot of the residents did an awesome job by reporting what was going on their floor. So it gave us a real good picture of what was going on. So as far as that evacuation process, by the time we got here, by the time we had 3 to 4 of the chiefs arriving on the scene, we were able to get crews in there and complete those evacuations. So it would seem a little chaotic at first, but like I said, the residents did an awesome job by letting us know, and it helped us get in there quicker and pinpoint where we needed to go. I have no clue. Streets were full.
In terms of traffic today, are there any areas that are blocked off right now?
Yes, without looking at that with that map, it would have to be, I think Dawson we just opened up. Jones is completely shut down from Dawson to West. West Street may be impassable there at 42nd Street, Oyster Bar. And certainly Harrington from Edenton up to probably north, I guess. So that big block.
I'm sure you're breathing a sigh of relief this morning.
Absolutely. No injuries. It was just property damage, you know, and all of my guys and girls went home, so it's a good thing.
Besides battling the fire, you guys have got to be battling fatigue.
Yes.
Been out here. How long?
Yes. Since 10 o'clock.
How are you guys feeling?
We're tired, but like I said earlier, we have rotation. There are several people, companies that have brought food. Awesome. And that really helps us refuel. Thank you.
All right, we were just getting a briefing from John Fanning. He's the Raleigh Fire Department Division Chief. He's talking about that massive fire we've been covering all morning that broke out last night around 10 o'clock. One of the new things we just learned is that there was one injury. That was a puncture wound to the chest due to falling glass from one of the buildings, but apparently that person has not faced any life-threatening injuries, which is incredibly good news. But that fire so intense, it was just blowing that glass out and melting that glass as it fell down to the street.
Yeah, we saw that in Lauren Haviland's live shot a little bit earlier. Now, he also said that this was the biggest fire he has seen in a condensed area. It actually caused damage to 10 buildings downtown. 5 of those buildings were severely damaged.
That's right. There were 3 buildings that we know that have been cleared for people to go back. That just happened a couple of hours ago. As you may know, there are a lot of people who live downtown. There are condos. There are also a few townhouses off away from that area. And then, of course, you've got a lot of apartment buildings. So some people displaced throughout the night. I know they're super happy to be able to get back home and be safe. And he just said, you know, he feels so lucky that none of his guys were hurt.
Right. And he also mentioned that right now they are keeping the water on the buildings. They need to stop that fire from rekindling. He said a rekindled fire can actually be worse than the initial fire. So that's what firefighters are doing right now. He also said how important it is that we're not having those gusty winds that we were seeing earlier in the week. And we want to go ahead and send it over to Alyssa Corfont to talk a little bit about today's weather. Alyssa.
Yeah, that's certainly some good news, guys, that the winds have calmed down. So I want to show you our wind map this morning, and look at how many reporting sites are saying calm. So the past few mornings we've had wind gusts in the 20-mile-an-hour range, just not the situation this morning, and it wasn't the situation last night, which is so very thankful for that fire. Now, you could see at one point the blaze from this viewpoint. All is quiet, though, this morning as we look towards downtown. This is a live picture from Shaw University as we do start off our Friday morning. So let's get straight to the temperatures. There's crews outside throughout the overnight, and for you heading out, as you head out this morning to your morning destination, it's cold. You need to break out that warm winter gear. 23 in Henderson and Lewisburg, 26 right now in Raleigh and Lillington, 19 though around Sanford. Pinehurst, you're checking in at 21. Here's what you need to know planning your day. You'll head out to plenty of sunshine this morning. Sunrise happens just before 7:30, 26 at 8 a.m., 45 at noon, 59 our afternoon high, a milder day ahead, and then we drop back into the mid-50s as we head towards 6 o'clock this evening. Temperatures, though, are going to climb for the weekend ahead. How does 65 sound tomorrow? Will come with a price to pay. Scattered showers in the forecast, but don't worry, we get back into the 60s and eventually the 70s as we head towards next Tuesday. Stay with us here on CBS North Carolina. There's more news right after this break.